Hi everyone. Hopefully this is working. I have no idea what I'm doing. But we are going to be doing kids yoga today. Created a space in my house so that we can do this from home. The purpose of kids yoga is really to stretch and to breathe, but to also have fun. So we will be doing some breathing exercises because when we take deep breaths, our deep breaths tell our brain to release some happy chemicals that relax our whole body, right? So that's perfect when we are feeling stressed or anxious or just really hyper, whatever it is. We can use our breath to help calm our bodies by ourselves, which is a great thing for our brains to do. Also, check science lesson right there. We are going to go through this class. So just a few items about what we're going to be doing. So we will be doing some breathing. We will be doing some fun different poses. And if you have a block, you can use one or two. If you don't, you can use a chair or the wall or whatever you want, really, if you need to use those, and maybe some water. So we will do some breathing. We will go through our fun poses, and at the end, we will do a little relaxation, which is called Shavasana. We just get to lay down. It's like playing the quiet game. And then at the end, we will do one of my favorite breathing things, a breathing activity, and that will be all. So hopefully this all goes well. We shall see. So first, everyone sit on your mat. Crisscross applesauce. You can keep your socks on. I'm going to take mine off. Up to you. They're mismatched anyway. So sit crisscross applesauce and just get comfortable. And then begin to take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it in. And then take a deep breath back out through your nose, letting it all go. Feel your lungs expand on the inhale. And then deflate on the exhale, right? Kind of like a big balloon, right? Inhale, inflate, exhale, deflate, right? You can even put your hands on your belly. And when you take the inhale, your belly goes out, and on your exhale, your belly goes back in. Good. One more time. Take one more big belly breath. Inhale and exhale. Perfect. Now let's connect some of our breath, those inhales and exhales, with some movement. So we're going to inhale our arms up and exhale to heart center. Perfect. Inhale our arms up and exhale to heart center. Fantastic. I just want to check and make sure I'm not doing anything wrong here. So nobody says I'm totally messing up yet. Perfect. Getting back. Bringing our hands to our knees, right? Like we're holding on to our kneecaps. We're going to take an inhale and bring our heart up towards the sky and look up. And then on our exhale, we're going to round it out. Pull those knees back like we're trying to hide a basketball in our belly. And then inhale to look up. And exhale to hide our basketball. Good. Let's do it one more time. Inhale to look up. And exhale to round our spine. Perfect. Coming back to neutral, which is just sitting straight up and down. And we are going to take our arms up over our head again, reaching up towards the sky, and then dropping one hand to the ground and reaching the other one over. Pressing into the hands so that we're really stretching. You stretch all the way from your fingers all the way down to the floor. And then inhale, back up, reaching, and exhaling to the other side. Perfect. Taking those deep breaths as you are stretching. Right? When you inhale, you can feel your body lengthening. And as you exhale, it kind of sinks back down. And bring it back up. And reaching the fingers all the way forward, as far forward as you can go. Walking your fingers out and just stretching. Keeping your hips on the floor, though. You don't want to come up off of your bum. You want to stay on the floor. Perfect. Keep stretching. Reaching forward. You can tap your fingers on the floor. And then walk them all the way back. And then make your way to a tabletop pose. Right? We want to be a nice, strong table. So we want our elbows to be elbows and wrists right under our shoulders. So a nice, long, stable table. And our knees right under our hips. Right? So if a strong wind came, they could not blow our table over. Nice and strong. Then we're going to begin to take those breaths again like we were doing sitting. So on our inhale, we're going to drop, and our head and our tail are going to go up. And on our exhale, we're going to round our spine and drop our head. And inhale, look up. This is our cow pose. And exhale to round. Good. You can even add some animal noises here. You can moo on the inhale and meow on your exhale. And coming back to our center. This time you're going to reach your left arm forward like you're going to shake hands with someone and reach your right foot back and keep your foot on the mat. Just reaching, feeling nice long line. Maybe lift up that back foot. You're balancing, trying not to fall over, keeping nice and long, and bringing it down. And then taking that right hand forward and stepping the left foot back. Keeping that left foot on the mat so you feel nice and secure. And then maybe lifting it up and stretching in opposite directions. Feeling that belly working hard. And coming back down. Nice job. And take a couple more of those cow poses. So moo and meow. And one more time. Cow and cat. Perfect. Now you're going to bring your big toes together and bring your knees out to the side and sit back onto your heels. And then reach your arms forward and just rest your body down onto the mat. I'm going to come up for a second so that you can hear me talking. So resting that body down, coming into our child's pose. Sorry, I'm throwing everything off here. Taking a few breaths, right? It's like you're a little mouse. Curl down, your forehead's on the mat. Take one more deep breath, kind of like a rock, but your body's moving. And then resting down. And coming back to that tabletop. Once we're back in that tabletop, I want you to walk your hands back so that you're standing up on your knees. Right, so you're nice and tall on your knees. You're going to take one foot and put it out to the side. And your arms are going to come up. Right, kind of look like the letter K. If you went like this, it'd be a letter K. And we are going to go into our gate pose. We're going to reach forward. Our arm is reaching the same way as our leg. And then hinging down. Right, so our legs make a little triangle. I don't know what kind of triangle. An isosceles triangle, maybe? I don't know. If you can tell me which triangle has a right angle in it, it's like bonus points. And coming back up. And reaching the hand that was all the way up to the sky, down to the ground. And switching sides, coming to a modified side plank here. Reaching that arm up. And stretching the legs. And coming back up. And bringing your knees back in. And just sitting on your knees for a minute. Taking a deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Blow it out. Really blow it out like you are a tornado or a hurricane, right? One more time, inhale. You can blow it out. And coming back up to those knees and taking the other side so that other foot goes out. Your arms come up and you're going to hinge down into our gate pose coming to the other side. You want to feel it stretching all the way along this side. And also the best part of this is that I'm giving you ideas of poses to do, but I can't see you. Only you can see me. So if you're not doing the same thing I'm doing, that's okay. You do what you do. Whatever makes you feel good right now, you do that. If you decide that this is way too much and you don't want to do it at all and you would rather just laugh at me, feel free to do that too. Come on up and switch down, reaching that arm up. Right? So yoga is for every person, every boy, every girl, every adult, kids, everyone can do yoga. Maybe even goats and dogs sometimes. So you don't have to do anything perfectly to be able to do it. You just do what feels good to you. If it looks the same as me, great. If it doesn't, also great, right? So we're doing the best that we can do. That's this whole situation right now. You get to witness my messy bedroom. You're lucky you can't see what's behind the phone. Coming back to our tabletop. We're going to curl our toes under and we're going to lift our knees up. So we're like hovering, like if we were a panther or a runner, we're going to take off really fast. And then reach your hips up, coming to our downward dog. So in our down dog, we want our hips to reach up towards the opposite corner. So we're trying to make a nice long line from our hips all the way down to our hands. So pushing into our hands to lengthen our spine here. And you can wiggle your tail a little bit, right? Maybe you're a puppy. Right? And then bend your knees, walking the dog like you're walking the dog down the street. And take one more breath. And let it out. And walk your feet up to meet your hands. So now you are in a forward fold. Your feet can be about hips width apart. Right? Your hips are here. So if your feet are right under your hips, we're going to let our arms sway back and forth. Right? Maybe if it's like you're cleaning the floor, or maybe it's like you have an elephant trunk and you're drinking water. It's probably more fun than cleaning the floor. And bringing our hands right to our shins and pushing into our shins so our head reaches forward and our spine nice and long. Just looking around. And go back to that elephant, swaying our trunk side to side. And our hands come back to our shins. Looking out, stretching your neck, your head. And then just falling forward. And then super slow, try to roll up. Right? Maybe you're hidden in the jungle somewhere. You don't want anyone to see you, so you're super slow. And you come to stand like a big, giant mountain. Super still, super strong. And reach the arms up. Reach them up really high, like you can touch the clouds. Touch those clouds and let the rain fall. Hopefully this will be the last of the rain if we let it fall right now. And reach your arms out and up. And one more time, let the rain fall. Perfect. Hands come to the shins one more time. Nice job, look out, right? See what we can see? Like we're on a safari. And hands come down. And we're going to put our hands onto the floor. And we're going to step back. So we are in a nice plank pose here. Right? We're going to pretend we are solid like a board. So strong, right? And then we're going to bring one knee in. And then back out. And bring the other knee in and back out. It's like we're climbing a mountain. We're going to do it really fast. We'll start slow though. Slow, slow. And then climb your mountain really, really fast. Climb the mountain. And stop. Just like a board. Good. And then we're going to lower all the way down to the mat like we're doing push-ups because we're so super strong. All the way down. And push into your hands and lift your belly up. Look around like a snake. The tops of your feet are pushing into the floor. Your shoulders are down, so your head is looking up and around, right? Maybe you hiss like a snake. Whatever snakes do, I'm not exactly sure. And come back to our table. And then just come to sit in the middle of your mat for just a minute. And we're going to take another deep breath and inhale our arms up, collecting all those clouds and bring them back down to us. One more time. Bring, collect, 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 and bring them down. Collect those clouds so hopefully the sun is out. And then just take a moment. Maybe you take a drink of water. Just take an extra breath. Nice job. So that was called a sun salutation. It was sort of modified, but that's basically what we do as a warm-up, right? It helps us warm up our body, but it also tells the sun, hey, hello, we're sick of the rain. Come out and hang out with us, right? So we're telling the sun how much we like it. It's like a snow dance. So now we're going to do a little bit of a flow, okay? So come back to those knees and then just make your way to a standing position on your mat. So we're going to do a couple of standing balances first. So we're going to root into one of our feet. So think of yourself like a tree, right? A tree has roots. So one foot is the roots and they're stretching into the ground and growing out and around to making this really cool pattern under the earth. And then your other foot is going to come up and come to the outside of your leg. You're going to rest it on your leg. You can keep it right on the floor. If you're like falling all over, you can keep your toe on the floor and your knee, your heel at your ankle. Or it can come to your shin, or it can come all the way up to your thigh. Whatever you want, right? And your hand's going to come to your heart until you feel like you're balanced. This is our tree pose. And then maybe your arms are like your branches and they grow up. You grow your branches up and you wiggle your fingers. Maybe your leaves are blowing in the wind. So if you sway a little, just blame that wind. And holding on, keeping our balance. Breathing the whole time. One more breath. And let that foot come down and shake it all out. And now our other foot is going to be that root. It's going to, the trunk, your leg's going to be the trunk and your foot is going to root down into that ground, into your mat. Other foot can come right as a kickstand, right? Like on our bike. Or it can come to our shin. Or it can come up to our thigh. Whichever one you want. One side's probably going to be a little bit easier to balance. Totally normal. Hands can start here so we feel nice and centered and balanced. And then again, growing our branches. Letting our leaves sway. Maybe you're super adventurous, right? And you want to add some actual wind. Maybe you take one of those tornado breaths, right? Good. Take one more breath here. And bring it down and shake it all out. Nice job. From here, we're going to step our left foot back. Okay? And we are going to come into what is called our warrior one. So our back foot is pointed about 40 degrees. So it's not pointed out to the side. It's kind of pointed diagonally forward. And our front foot is bent kind of to 90 degrees. We're getting into the math portion of our yoga here. Hands are going to come to our hips. So we feel like our hips are moving so that our whole body's facing forward, even though we have this one leg that's kind of out to the side. And our arms can come up over our head. And we can be strong like warriors here. Perfect. Perfect. Just breathing and reaching up and feeling how strong your legs are. And then step back to the front. And take the other side. Step the other foot back. Mine's my right foot. I'm stepping my right foot back. My left foot is forward. My toes are at that sort of 2 o'clock. So if we're looking at the face of a clock, your toes are pointing towards 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Front knee is bending. Our hips are trying to come to the front. And our arms are reaching up. Being nice, strong warriors. We're ready for battle if we had to be, right? Super strong, super active. And stepping back to the front. Nice job. Take one big inhale up. Reach for the sky and let the rain fall. Wash anything away. And rolling all the way back up. Perfect. We're going to take that again. So this time, stepping our foot back. I'm stepping my left foot back. My right foot is forward. Coming back right into that same warrior one pose. So again, this time if we're looking at a clock, our toes are pointing to about 10 o'clock, right? Telling time here. Lots of skills we got going. Arms reach up. Inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to open our arms out to the side. And our foot is going to walk wider so that our hips are sort of turning to the side, right? Our front leg is staying exactly the same, right? Knee bent 90 degrees. Our arms reach out. Super strong. One's reaching this way, one's reaching this way. Our shoulders are right over our hips. This is warrior two. So our warrior two is our next step in our pose, right? Now we're really ready if we need to. So we're going to take that back arm. We're going to reach it forward. We're going to pull it back like we're pulling on a bow. And then we're going to let our arrow go. And then pull it around and pull that arrow bow back. Pull the arrow back and let it go. And reach. And one more time. Pull our arrow back. And let it go. Maybe you're Katniss. Maybe you're Robin Hood. I don't know. And coming back to that warrior two. And then flipping that hand and reaching it up like you're painting the ceiling with your hand. And reaching it all the way back to reverse. And coming back to stand. And then super graceful. You're just going to make your way back to the center. Hop, jump, walk. I don't care how you get there. And we'll take the same thing on the other side. So this time, my left foot is forward and my right foot is back. So coming to that warrior one, toes are, this is our 2 o'clock, right? Pointing our toes, reaching up, inhaling and exhaling. But then reach up on an inhale, and on our exhale, open nice and wide. That foot gets to go wider. Front knee is bent, coming to our warrior two. Settling in here. Again, keeping that body nice and straight. You don't want to be too far this way, or this way, or this way, or this way. Just nice, one straight line, right? So I could maybe be squished flat up against a wall. That's kind of what you're going for. And again, let's take our arrow on that other side. So reach our arm forward. Pull back the strings of our arrow. Let it go. And again, pull forward. Pull our arrow back. Let it go. One more time. Pull back. Let it go. Clearly, I've never shot a bow and arrow, so I don't actually know exactly what that should look like. Flipping that palm, reaching up. Reversing. And coming back. And again, bring your hands to your hips, just turning all your toes to the same direction. So you're kind of like in a standing straddle, or if you put your arms up, you look like a star, as long as your head is that fifth point of the star. You're going to take your left hand, you're going to reach for your right foot. So nice, all the way stretched across. And then you're going to come back to our star. And our right hand's going to come to our left foot. And one more time on both sides, reaching up. Left hand to right foot. And standing up. Right hand, left foot. Coming back. Bringing your hands to your hips. This time you're going to turn your feet in. Your heels come in, your toes go out. Right? And you bend into, this is called our horse pose. Okay? So it's like you're making a nice straight line of your body, sinking down. This should kind of hurt your legs a little. cactusing those arms, right? Or goalposts, whichever you prefer. And then lifting one foot and putting it down. And lift the other foot and put it down. Right and drop, left and drop. And then maybe you try to lift them both without falling over. And drop. Hands come back to your hips. Stand up. And just bring those feet back together. Fantastic. Hope we're all doing good so far. Reaching our arms up again. Nice and long. Body stretch. Hands come together. Heart center. One more time. Arms reach up. This time clasp your hands. And just release your pointer fingers. Right? So it looks like this. Pointer fingers. We're going to reach up and we're going to bend to one side. So we make like a C with our body. Or it kind of looks like a crescent moon too. Whichever one you're more into. Coming back to the center. And make a C to the other direction. One of them will be a C to you and one's a C to me. And coming back to the center. Reaching up and then reach back. Like you could reach to the back of the wall and paint on the back of the wall with your fingers. And coming back up. Hands to heart center. Perfect. Everyone's doing so great. I'm assuming. Take a nice big inhale here. And open your mouth and let it out. Right? Some people think yoga has to be really, really quiet. It does not have to be quiet. You can make noise. You can breathe. You can talk. As the kids who usually do the yoga with me know, we talk the whole time. Perfect. One more time. Inhale. And we're going to bring our hands down together and exhale loudly. Nice and loud, right? Feels really good to let it all out. So we're going to come this time, we're going to take our left foot out to the front, and we're going to step our right foot back. So it's like we're coming back into that warrior two, right? We're bending that knee. Our arms are coming out. And we're going to go into a side angle. So we're going to reach our arm forward, and we're going to hinge down so that our left arm comes to our left thigh. And our right arm reaches forward. Right? So side angle. See, now it's math class. That front knee should be making about a 90-degree angle. I don't think mine's perfectly 90 degrees, but that's okay. That's the objective, is 90 degrees. And coming back up. And just flipping your toes to the front and switching sides. So turning your right toes out and bending into that right knee. And we'll go in our side angle on the other side. So reaching the right arm forward. Right arm comes to that right leg. Left arm reaches forward. Breathing in our side angle. Right? So since our legs are supposed to be at about 90 degrees, right? This is 90. These two, they're perpendicular. See? There we go. Vocabulary lesson 2. And inhale back up. Straighten. And we're going back to the other side. Left toes back out. This time, we're going to start bending. Then we're going to straighten that leg. Don't lock it out. You don't want it to be really tight so that you can feel it in the back of your knee. You want that front knee to be a little bit bent. But not like super bent, right? So just a little bit so that you can still feel the muscles in your legs working. And we're going to reach forward. The same exact thing with our arms. We're going to hinge down. Now, coming to our triangle pose, right? We make a triangle. And again, I think this maybe is an isosceles triangle. I don't know. Geometry is not exactly my thing. And breathing here, feeling your whole body nice, making one flat line, right? Like you're a pancake. And coming back up. And flipping and reversing that triangle. Stretching right down the sides. And coming back to the center. And moving those feet to the other side again. Good. First, bending into that knee. Then straightening it. Right? So I don't know if you can see the difference. But here, right, my knee is locked out. It kind of goes in. It's a little concave. That's what we don't want. You want it to be bent a little bit, right? Because you don't want to hurt your knee. And when you lock your knee out, you don't get to do as much work with your legs. So obviously, we want to be super strong. Reaching forward, hinging down into that triangle. Arms reaching up. Those lower ribs right here are reaching up towards the sky like you're twisting up. Kind of like a flower. You know how flowers grow up towards the sun? Our ribs and our lungs down here are growing up towards that sky, just like a flower. My favorite flower is a tulips, which should be coming out soon. So maybe imagine your favorite flower. And coming back to stand. Flip and reverse. Perfect. Coming back. Moving all of our feet this way. Bring your hands to your hips, and this time, inhale and open your chest, and exhale, you're going to fold all the way forward. Coming forward. Look nice, flat back. Maybe someone could put a cup of coffee on there. And then bring your hands down. Let your head drop. And just stretch in a wide-legged forward fold here. Right, and keep on breathing. And we are going to bend into our right foot. And we're going to pop our left foot up. So we're coming into a side stretch here. So feeling the stretch all down this leg. You can keep that foot down, or you can come up on the toe. And you can even try to hold it here for a minute without your hands. And then switch to the other side. Perfect. Popping that right heel up. Maybe your hands come up here. Nice. And then switch. And you can put your hands down and switch, right? Like we did the first time. Or you can try to do it without your hands, right? Super slow. Moving back and forth. And again, moving back and forth. Right? Super focused. Using all those muscles. Last side. Good. Hands can come down. Hips reach up. And slowly roll all the way up to stand. Creating that starfish again. And take a deep breath in like a starfish. And we're going to just jump together. Arms are going to come down by your sides like a jumping jack. Just the jack. I don't know. Good. Let's do another standing balance. So this time we are going to be in airplane. So you can stay facing forward on your mat. I'm going to go sideways so you can see what you should look like. So planting my left foot. I'm planting my left foot down. I'm going to lift my right knee up. Right, so I'm standing just on one foot, and I'm going to kick my right foot back like I can close a door behind me, right, flexing that foot, and my arms reach back behind me. My chest stays up because, you know, I'm flying an airplane. I don't want to crash if I'm not looking where I'm going, right, keeping that chest up, gaze straight ahead, just balancing our airplane, thinking of somewhere cool we want to go someday. And coming back down and shaking it all out. And now taking the other side. So this time rooting into that right foot. Left foot reaches up. Arms reach behind us. Kick, kick, kick. Kind of like a ninja. Right? Ninja kicks behind them. Not even looking. Keeping that whole leg pointed down. Toes pointing towards the floor. Chest is lifted. Right? Because if our chest falls down like this, our plane is going to crash. And I would rather not be on a plane that's crashing. I'd rather be on a nice, cool plane that's flying super high. One more breath. And come back to center. Shake it all out. Now, we're going to bring our big toes together. Our heels can be slightly apart if they want. If they're not squished together, that's okay. And we're going to bend our knees, and we're going to pretend that we're sitting in a chair, right? That's why this is called chair pose. Works out pretty well. So we're sitting in our chair, not leaning too far forward in our chair because we'll fall. We're not leaning too far back because, again, we all know what happens when we lean far back in our chair, right? Sitting perfectly straight on our chair. Our arms are coming up. And then our pinkies come in just a little bit more than our thumbs so that our shoulders relax. And just breathing in our chair. And inhales, we lengthen. Exhales, we sink deeper. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, fold over those legs. Shake them all out. And rolling back to stand. Nice job. We are going to take a figure 4. So we are going to plant our right foot. We're going to take our left foot and cross it over right above our knee, right? So it kind of looks like our legs make a number 4, like the typed 4, not like the 4 that we draw. And we're going to bring our hands to our heart right here, resting our hands there. And then begin to kind of take that chair pose, right? Sinking down, but keeping that crossed legs. Trying to balance here. Nice job. Breathing and focusing. You want to find one point to look at that's not moving, right? Because if it's moving, you're going to move. And coming back up. Releasing. Shaking everything out again. And the other side. So left foot, nice and strong. Right foot's going to make our 4. Right? And I know one way is not a 4, but if you look from behind, one way is right, and the other way if you look in the front. So you're a 4 no matter what. And sinking down into that chair. Right? And it kind of looks like a bowl right here. It's a bowl of cereal, right? Maybe you're eating. Balancing and concentrating and breathing. And coming back up and letting it go. Nice job. We're going to come back to that chair because we're going to make our chair a little bit tricky. So we're going to bend our knees into our chair. Right? So sitting in our chair and our left arm's going to come forward and our right arm's going to come back. So we're twisting in our chair here, right? But our lower body is like in cement. You are cemented in place. We're just twisting our upper body, right? Kind of like a Lego. You know how the body stays and just the body, you can move the top? That's us. We are Legos. Left arm forward, right arm back. And then come back to the center and switch to the other side. Right arm forward, left arm back, right? So just our upper body's twisting. And come back and switch. Keeping our Lego bodies still. And up. And back. And up. And rain down. And slowly roll back up to our standing position. Nice work. So we are now going to move down to the floor. So we are going to do a few different poses on the floor. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our hands down and come to that tabletop. One more time. Right? Settling those wrists under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. And we're going to step our right foot up between our hands. Yep. So like we're in a low lunge, but all the way on the ground. And we're going to walk that left hip, knee back so that it's not right under our hip. So we want it to be like a diagonal line from our knee to our hip. Good. And we're just going to stretch right here. Then we're going to plant our left hand on the inside of that right foot and reach our right arm forward, up and over our head, twisting open. Our eyes can go up towards our fingers. Maybe you write your name on the ceiling with your finger. And come back down. And bring your hands up to that front knee. And breathe here. Feeling that back hip really stretching, right? And as a reminder, if anything ever hurts, just don't do it. I don't want to hurt you. Yoga doesn't want to hurt you. So it's okay if it's a little uncomfortable, but if it hurts, then there's always something else you can do instead. And then walk your hands back towards your hips and straighten that front knee, coming to a half split on this side. I know some of you, we got lots of kids, so if you can actually do your splits, you can feel free to do that right now. Show up any parents that are watching. I can't do the splits, so I'm not even going to pretend I can. And coming back, and just walking that foot all the way back. Tabletop. Perfect. Just move your hips side to side. Right. And we'll take the other side. This time our left foot comes between our hands, walking that right knee back. Right? So we have a nice angle here. Right? Nobody knew. You didn't know yoga was so mathy, did you? Plant your right hand on the inside of your left and reach that left arm up, twisting open, keeping our shoulders stacked. Right? You want both shoulders on top of each other, keeping your hips down. And that left hand comes back down. Both hands come back to that front knee. Extra stretch. And again, if this is too much, keep your hands on the floor. That's fine. You can always, if you have blocks and you want to use them, you can use your blocks right here and just use your hands to bring that floor closer to you. And then walk the hands back, straightening into that left knee, coming to our half split. Or for my flexible friends, full splits. Just trying to stretch all the parts of our body here. And walking those hands forward and bringing that left foot all the way back around. Coming to our tabletop. One more time. Good. Sitting back on the knees. And bringing our hands to our thighs. Taking a deep breath here. Very good. So now we're going to come to our belly. So I'm not sure if you can see me perfectly, but I will show you and then I'll kind of sit up so you can hear my voice, okay? So you're going to come all the way down to your belly. And your arms are going to reach by your sides with the palms facing down. And you're going to lift your chest and your head looking forward and then lift your legs, right? Like you're flying, like you're Superman. Resting on those hip bones, pushing your pelvic bone into the floor. Head is reaching in the opposite direction of the feet, right? Flying through the sky, maybe rock side to side. And lowering down to the mat. Just letting your whole body relax. Resting one cheek on the mat. Arms can just splay out wherever they want. Letting it all go. Good, that's always my favorite part after doing that pose is just totally relaxing into the floor. Feel like melted chocolate right into the mat. And coming back, we're going to bring our elbows right under our shoulders and our hands reaching out in front of us. So we kind of look, this is Sphinx pose, and we kind of look like a Sphinx, right? So if we want to talk about our Egyptian history, we can incorporate anything into here. Pushing into our feet, lifting our knees, right? We're pulling without moving our hands. Our hands are pulling back. So it's like our heart is coming between our shoulders. We're reaching up, right? Nice regal Sphinx. I think it's like some sort of cat. I'm not sure. I should know that though. And resting your whole body down, crossing your arms and letting your head rest on your arms. Rest your forehead down. Bend your knees and just windshield your legs back and forth. Good. And dropping your feet. And we are going to come into our frog pose. But we're going to just do a half frog at a time because I find it easier. So we're going to stay on our belly. And we are going to take our right knee out to the side. So we want our right thigh parallel with the top and the bottom of our mat. And our right shin parallel with the two sides of our mat, right? So we are literally making a 90-degree angle with our leg, right? That right hip is pushing down into the mat, and we're just opening that right hip here, flexing our feet to protect that knee. Just breathing into our frog. So if you look at your leg, it really does look like a frog leg, right? That's how they sort of swim like that. But we're only doing one side at a time. Taking a couple breaths here. One more time. Deep inhale. And maybe ribbit it out. Ribbit. And bring that leg down. And just sort of shake out your legs for a minute. Shake them out. And then take the other side. So our left foot is going to come. Our left leg is going to come out. So that left thigh is parallel with the top and the bottom. And the left shin is parallel with the two sides of our mat, right? Making our frog leg on the other side. Stretching our left hip here. And just breathing into our hip. Making any of the noises that you want here, totally fine with me. We hatched frogs at school one time. We had little tadpoles and they became frogs. And then we had to let them go into the little magical creek behind the school. But it was really fun to watch all the different stages of the frog, right? And to really see the frog's life cycle besides just, learning it in a circle on a piece of paper. So it was fun to really see it. And one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Feel free to ribbit again. And then bringing that leg back and shaking them out. Good. Coming back up to our table. And just bringing our knees forward. And coming back to sit on our mat. So this time we're going to bring our feet together. Right? So the soles of our feet are touching. And we can use our hands to grab our feet. Or our ankles, wherever's really comfortable. And then, like a butterfly, right? So this is our butterfly pose. And I feel like this is one that we've all done, right? In gym class or in school sometimes. I don't know. This seems like one of those poses that everyone knows how to do. And we're just going to start to flap our wings. Right? You can do one side and then the other. Right? You can do them fast or slow. However you want to be. Imagine yourself, it's a beautiful butterfly, flying around the backyard, outside, at school, wherever you would want to be flying around if you were a butterfly. And just think of the things that you smell, right? What do you smell if you're flying around like a butterfly? What do you see? What do you feel? All those things. Maybe what do you taste? Using all your senses. What do you hear? Did I say that one? There are 5 senses, so using all 5 of them. Letting that maybe bring your fingers up and have little antennas, right? Bringing those hands back down, pushing the elbows into the knees, maybe stretching a little bit deeper. If that hurts, then you don't have to do that, right? Just following your body, doing what you feel like doing, right? Doing you. And then reaching those arms forward and walking them over to the right and walking them over to the left, right? Imagine using our little antennas right now to smell out the food, looking for flowers, looking for pollen. This is the first day of spring today. So, good day to think about outside-y, springy things. Great, and then bringing your knees together, shaking out the legs, and reaching them out in front of us. Let's shake them out for a minute. And reaching your legs out, flexing those feet, right? Maybe your heels come off the floor just a little bit, and you can rest them down. And we're going to stretch over those legs. We're going to reach our arms up on our inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to hinge forward, reaching for our toes. If you cannot grab your toes, that's okay. Bend your knees. Because if you bend your knees, you can totally grab your toes. And that's okay. The real goal of this pose is to lengthen your spine, right? So you want your back to be super long. You don't need your legs to be straight. Right? Maybe you move around. I always move around in this pose. I can stay still in many poses, but not this one. I always feel the need to move. Maybe it just is a good stretch if you move it around. And coming back up. And we're going to take our left foot over our right leg, right? So we're keeping our right leg nice and long. And we're going to take our left foot over it, right? So we're just crossing it, makes like a little mountain. This was a landscape. We're going to reach our arms up, and that right arm is going to come to the outside of that left leg, right? So opposite arm, opposite leg. And the left hand comes behind you. And just twisting to the side, opening up, right? Just twisting open, keeping the head nice and tall, the shoulders in line. Try not to hunch over, right? Keeping super strong and tall. Breathing. Right? When you're holding poses like this too, it's a really good time to really feel your breath, especially when you're twisting. You can feel like your ribs expanding and then coming back and expanding and deflating. It's just a cool thing to kind of notice. Coming back to the center and stretching both legs out, wiggling them out for a minute. Then switching sides. So my right foot's coming over my left leg is long. My arms reach up so I can feel my spine nice and long. Left arm comes to the outside of my right knee, and my right hand comes right behind me. And I twist to the side. You can look to the same side that you're twisting, if you would like. Makes that twist a little bit deeper, following that gaze following that twist. Right, feeling those ribs expanding. And gently coming out, shaking it all out again. And we're going to do a couple more poses before we go to our back to sort of end our class. Mostly I have zero idea what time it is right now, as I cannot see the clock on the phone from where I'm sitting. So I'm totally guesstimating. But we're going to bend our knees like we're sitting. We're going to try to rest sort of somewhere where we're not hunching down, but we're not standing straight up. So we're sort of resting with our back at like a little angle, right? We're going to bring our hands right behind our knees and then lift our feet up off the ground. So we're holding our legs up, right? But we should feel our belly working. Yeah, so this is our boat pose. So you can stay right here and hold on to those legs because you're still working, or you can release your arms out and keep your feet up all by yourself, using all your muscles. Yes. And maybe you're in a wobbly, rocky boat, lots of wind out there on the lake or the river or the ocean today. Maybe you need your oars to paddle. You can paddle your boat, go fast, right? Maybe just go slow. Whatever you're doing, but breathe for 2 more breaths. Inhale and reach up and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale, bringing it down. Whew. That one, you should feel that one right in your belly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come to lay on our back. So if you have a block, now's a good time to use it. If not, it's not a big deal. I'm going to tell you what to do with and without one. So if you have one, keep it by you. So for these, I'm going to show them to you, and then I'm going to sit up so that you can hear my voice, okay? So we're just going to lay back, long on your spine, but bending your knees so that your feet are planted on the floor. We're going to push into our hands, which are right by our hips, and reach our hips up towards the sky. Good. Our knees are reaching forward while our hips are reaching up. Coming to our bridge pose. Very good. You can keep bridging. Pushing our hips up towards the ceiling. Right? If, you have a sibling or someone thinks it's hilarious, you can put like a truck right underneath there, right? Maybe a, what are those called? Matchbox cars? I don't know if they have those anymore, but, right? Fire trucks. You can put that right under there. You can make a bridge. Who needs to build one out of Legos or whatever sets we have? you can make your own bridge, right? One more breath in your bridge. If you're still holding it, you're so super strong. And relax down. Good. Bringing those knees in, hug them into your chest while you're laying on your back, and just rock side to side. Good. It should feel like a nice little massage on your back, rolling side to side. And then putting your feet back on the floor. And we're going to do one more bridge. So, you can do the bridge just like you did it, right? Pushing up. Or if you have a block, you can lift up and put the block underneath you and just rest on the block, which is just nice and relaxing. Or, as most kids, when you hear the word bridge, you think of what we say is a wheel in yoga. So if you can do this all by yourself without mom or dad helping you, then you can try it, right? I'm not there to judge if you know how to do it, but don't do it if you can't lift your head off the floor, okay? But if you can, bring your hands right by your ears, push into your hands and your feet, and then lift up off the ground. And that is our wheel pose, right? Kids always get confused because in gymnastics and stuff like that, they call that a bridge. And calm down when you're ready. Bring those knees back into your chest, laying on your back, rocking side to side. Good, and then we're going to come into our happy baby pose. So what that is, you stay on your back. And you reach for the outsides of your feet. And you pull your knees towards your armpits. And just roll side to side, right? You can straighten your legs. You can move them however you want. Right? Pulling those knees down. Maybe don't put your toes in your mouth like a baby actually would, but you know. If you want to and you just took a shower, go ahead. Nice job. And when you're ready, you can release that there. And this is the other time that you can use a block, but I'm going to give you a bunch of different choices. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down on our backs. And you can either put a block right under your lower back and rest your lower back or your sacrum, that's that area right there, on the block, and lift your feet straight up. Or if you have a wall next to you, push your bum up to the wall and let your legs go straight up the wall. Or you can also just put your legs straight up while laying flat. Whatever works for you, right? Just keep those feet up in the air, right? All day long, our feet do things for us, right? They bring us places. We run, we walk, we jump. Maybe we stomp our feet when we're angry. I don't know. But our feet are there taking care of us all day long without us ever saying thank you. So right now, give those feet a little wiggle. Let them rest up. Release all that pressure from your whole body on them all day. Let them just relax up there and say thank you to your feet, right? Maybe wave up there. Blow them some kisses. Thank you, feet, for all that you do for me. Good. And when you are ready, we are going to come into our final pose. So our final pose, which is called Shavasana, which is called corpse pose. So what it is, basically, it's called corpse pose because you lay down like you're so super still. So you're so super still, and not only are you super still, you're super quiet. So it's literally like the ultimate game of the silent game, right? If you played that at school to see, it's probably like a trick by your teacher to get you to be quiet for a little bit. Usually prizes are involved, at least in my room. So what you're going to do is you're going to just lay on your back and just relax. Let your arms go long by your sides. Let your feet just splay out and just lay on your mat as quiet and as still as you can, right? And just breathe. You can close your eyes. Think of some, maybe outside, maybe think of something really fun that you did today or that you want to do tomorrow, right? Maybe a game that you played or invented. I know we're all sort of in our houses right now and doing things with our families way more than probably we normally do. And that's okay. In my house, we're doing weird things. We do dance parties. We invented hula ball. Not going to catch on. We eat Cool Whip at 5 a.m. You know, you do what you got to do sometimes, right? So just relax. Just relax. Let any tension go. Think happy thoughts, fun things you want to do, right? Maybe you can FaceTime with a friend and you can play a game together. Maybe you're just excited to beat someone in your family at Uno, which is my house, because clearly everything's a competition in my house. And just breathe. And just take 2 more breaths right here, right? Take big inhales in through your nose. And then long exhales back out through your nose. See if they can be the same length. So inhale for 5 this time. Ready? And exhale for 5. Awesome job. And when you're ready, slowly make your way back up to a sitting position, whatever position is comfortable for you sitting. Good. And the last thing, we do 2 more things at the end of every yoga class. So the first thing we're going to do is my favorite breathing exercise, which I use at school sometimes. And so what you're going to do is you're going to imagine, you're going to visualize your favorite dessert, right? Think about what it tastes like, what it smells like, what it maybe feels like in your mouth, or how it makes you feel, right? What is it? What do you hear? Maybe you're at a party when you're eating this dessert, wherever you are, whatever. Maybe it makes little birds sing because you're so excited. Whatever it is, use those senses to really bring that amazing, delicious dessert into your brain, right? My favorite dessert, at least today, is going to be strawberry shortcake. So that's what I'm thinking about. The nice, juicy strawberries and the cake. So delicious. And while that's in your brain, we're going to close our eyes so we can really picture it. And we're going to take a deep inhale. And on our exhale, we're going to say yum. And we're going to yum as long as we can yum without taking another breath. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to do it. So keeping that delicious dessert in your brain, take a big inhale. And then yum. Yum. Nice job. I've been practicing, so I can do that for quite a while. And anytime you want to take a deep breath, that's a fun way to do it, because our brain, right? Our brain tells us when we take deep breaths, it lets all those little happy vibes come down through our body and naturally calms our body. You might want to ask the science teacher for more details on that, because I'm sure that they're way better explaining that than me. But hopefully we feel nice and calm and relaxed. And the last thing that we do is we bring our hands together, right over our heart. And the last thing we do is called namaste. Namaste is kind of like the aloha of yoga, right? It means thank you, you're welcome, all those things. And then what it means is, so we say namaste, not just to each other for sharing our practice together, but also to our bodies and to our minds and to our breath and to all those things that we are thankful for. Okay? So we bring our hands together, and we're not going to touch our face. We're not going to bring our hands to our face because, we're being conscious of that. So we're just going to bring our thumbs up towards our forehead, right, which is our third eye, or our brain, so we can thank our brains too. And then together we say namaste. And that is all. I hope that those comments are good, because I can't read them from where I am. Hopefully we can do this again. Any questions, concerns, comments, anything at all, suggestions, you can message me here on the Auburn Yoga and Pilates app, or through my own personal messenger, whatever. Have a great night, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.